Hello and welcome back. Today's video is going to be just to get ready with me, and I based it on doing sort of bridal makeup. Now I know there are other people out there who will probably do it in a different fashion and everything else, but I've tried to concentrate on my base to try to make it as perfect as possible, and I kept my eyes quite soft. Maybe it looks a bit intense for some, but I think it's actually quite a soft eye look, and light contouring, light on the blush, because that's how I would wear it naturally. When you're working with a bride, you want to figure out how they like to wear their makeup if you're going for a more natural look. So I've sort of kept my eyebrows quite light on the cheeks, because I don't like the stripe of blush, and I like to just add a little bit of colour, until I get that nice natural flush. Small amounts of highlighter on my cheeks only, and then just a nice glow of my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder all over, just to give a nice radiance rather than lots of different highlight. And my lips I've just made them slightly pinkier than my own natural lip colour. So I've kind of gone quite natural with this, I think, anyway. You may think entirely different and that I've completely overcooked it or whatever else. But this is the general idea on how you would consider, or how you would plan out doing bridal makeup. And I've taken this just from the MUA course that I did. I kind of took it and I adapted it based off my various makeup books that I have in my collection. I have quite a few at this point, so I sort of skimmed through those and picked out the looks that I liked the most and what I think you'll be able to get away with. Obviously for my wedding I actually went more 50s glam. I had a slight wing on my eyeliner, I had a bit of shimmer on my eyelids, there's a bit of shimmer here, but more sort of gold tones and much more, I like a bold red lip and a wee bit more blush on my cheeks just to even out the whole look. With this I think it's fine, it works quite well just as a natural face. So this is what I've done. Obviously there are certain products you should swap out. The foundation, for example, I didn't have a foundation that did not have SPF in it in a shade that matched me, so I would consider MAC Face and Body. That's a good option. Or if you just have another fuller coverage foundation without SPF, something you're looking for, because obviously with photographs you don't want flashback. What else? There was something else I wanted to swap out as well. Oh, I've entirely forgotten, but I have no doubt I will mention it in the video, so you can keep your eyes and ears open for that. Don't know why you keep your eyes open to hear me say something. Feeling a wee bit special today. It's been a long old weekend, and if you follow our vlog channel you know exactly why. It was my husband's birthday yesterday and we've been celebrating and whatever else. But enough of that, you can watch the vlog channel for that kind of carry on. So this is my tutorial. If you have any questions please let me know down below, but I'll come back at the end just to give you a final wee peep and to say goodbye. So I'm starting with my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, and I'm applying that all over my face. Now from MUA I have a Prime and Conceal palette, and I'm going to start with the green colour and just dab that lightly over any red areas, blemishes, just scarring, anything like that, all over my face. I'm using it with quite a small stiff brush, and I'm not being too careful to blend it in. I don't really want to blend it in too much because I can do that when I'm blending in my foundation over the top. I'm just going to use the salmony coloured shade, which is quite orangey actually in this palette, and I'm going to use that to help cover some of the purpleness under my eyes. I'm going to prime my eyelids using the Makeup Revolution Focus and Fix Eyelid Primer, and again I'm just going to apply that on and then use a small brush to blend it in all over my eyelid. Foundation, I'm using the CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous foundation, and I'm just going to dot that on all over my face, you know, over all the concealed areas, etc. And then I will use a damp beauty sponge just to blend everything in really nicely. I like to use a beauty sponge because I think it gives a more natural finish while still leaving it really quite full coverage as well. So you can already see I've got quite good coverage with the colour correcting that I did, and then the foundation over the top, and I got a really good cup of tea from my husband at this point too, always a winner. So for concealer, I'm going to use my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer mixed with the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I just do that in the back of my hand, and then I'm taking a small stiff brush, the same one I used earlier, and I'm just popping that over any other blemishes that are just still a wee touch red. I'm also trying to be careful not to apply too much. You know, you don't want it to be really obvious that you're wearing quite a bit of makeup. I'm using the same mixture for under my eyes just to brighten things a wee bit and just to help conceal things a wee touch further. Those freckles under the eyes need a bit of help. So I'm using the damp sponge again, but I'm using it actually quite a bit lighter. It doesn't look it, but I'm just being really gentle. I'm just trying to be careful not to disturb anything too much, but still blend it in. You'll notice it more when I'm blending in these spots and all that kind of fun stuff. I'm just now going to set that all in place using my Forever Marlin Beauty Powder and just a soft fluffy brush and dabbing that in, again trying to be careful not to disturb the makeup too much. Just want to set everything, make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Now for my eyeshadow, I'm going to be mostly using this Benefit Big Beautiful Eyes palette, and we're going to start with the peachy shade, and I'm using a softer eyeshadow brush and I'm just sweeping that all over the moving part of my eyelid. I definitely went in a few times just to build up the colour a wee bit, so it would be a wee bit more obvious that I did have some eyeshadow on. Then I'm taking that brown shimmery shade and I'm using an angled fluffy brush, and I'm just placing that just on the outer V almost. So I'm going to have it in an outer V, bring it into my crease slightly, but I'm also going to sweep it slightly across my lid as well, so it's not just a V shape. Again, this did require some building up, so I just went in a few times until I got the colour that I wanted. I took this clean blending brush just to help soften things in a wee bit more. It's always a good idea to blend, and again blend loads. I'm sure you hear this often enough on YouTube, but it does make a world of difference, and particularly in looks like this where you want things to be as soft as possible. Spend as much time as you have available to blend everything. Really make sure you blend lots. I'm now going to take Foxy from the Urban Decay Basics palette, and I'm taking another clean blending brush and I'm just using that colour to help soften any blended colour up into my eyebrows. I'm just trying to soften everything as much as I can. Next I'm taking that matte brown colour from the Benefit palette, and I'm just using a flat liner brush to press that in along the roots of my lashes on my top lash line. You just need that wee bit of definition when you're using such a light colour all over the lids, otherwise it just looks a wee bit odd. Now on to brows. I'm going to try and keep these relatively natural. Again, I'm just going to use that matte brown colour because it seems to be a pretty good match for me at the minute, and a tiny angled brush, and I'm really lightly filling these in. I literally am just dabbing that on in small strokes, as you can see. I am by no means an eyebrow expert. I am continuing to argue with them every day, but I'm gradually getting better at getting the right shape for me. I always like to comb them through again afterwards just to make sure I've not missed any and also to help things blend in. Next, for the Collection Clear Mascara, this just helps set my eyebrows in place. I'm curling my lashes using my Kevin Aucoin eyelash curlers and just give them a nice wee pump and move them along and pump a bit more. And for mascara, I'm using the Lancome Hypnose Mascara. Absolutely love this at the minute. I'm going to use it all along my top lashes and all along my lower lashes as well, which is something I don't normally do. But again, because I'm using light colours on my eyelid, I think this is just needed to add a bit of definition around my eyes. I'm just using my metal lash comb to comb through any possible clumps. I don't really have very many with this mascara, which is a winner, but sometimes I get the odd bit. You can see on my lower lashes I have the odd wee bit of clumping going on. I like to fan my lashes out and get them to look quite natural. So that's the eyes done. You can obviously add more eyeliner or smoke it out a wee bit more if you like, but I'm quite happy with this. So I'm going to contour using my NYX blush in taupe. I'm going to lightly do the edge of my forehead, in under my cheekbone, and I will also bring it underneath my jawbone as well. I'm just doing it quite lightly though, I don't want really heavy contouring. For blush, I'm using my Dior Rosy Glow blush, which I've only used a few times and absolutely love. But I'm going in with a really light hand here. I'm just going to gradually build up the colour. I don't want anything too intense on my cheeks. I'm kind of keeping it as natural as possible with just a flush of colour. I'm also not bringing the blush too far forward on my cheeks because that's not how I normally wear it. I like to keep it just slightly back. I find if I bring it onto my cheeks, it kind of gives me chipmunk cheeks, so I'm trying to avoid that. For highlighter, I'm just going to use this Rose Illuminator from Elizabeth Arden, and I'm doing it really lightly, just on the very tops of my cheeks. Again, making sure I don't bring it too far forward. And then I'm going to try and blend that in a wee bit so it doesn't look like a stripe of highlighter. For lip liner, because we do want our lips to last all day, I'm going to use the Rimmel Exaggerate lip liner in East End Snob. And again, I'm going to start with my top lip and work my way down and around, and I will lightly fill in my entire lips using this lip liner. So for lipstick, I am using the Dior lipstick in Win Rose. It's the Dior Addict lipstick, and I have started with a lip brush, but I'm not quite getting the colour payoff that I want. So time for a quick blot and a change in plan slightly. I'm just going to apply this directly to the center of my lips. You can see much better colour payoff. And then I'm taking my lip brush. I'm going to use that to fade it out towards the corners of my lips. Now for a bit of gloss. I'm using this NYX gloss in Ballerina Pink. And I'm just applying that mostly to the center of my lips, and then dabbing it on a bit, and then I'll use my finger and dab it in a bit more just to blot it out a wee bit. But I think it's really important with a look like this to add a bit of gloss to the lips. Just, it makes them look more full and just healthier for some reason. Unsurprisingly, I'm going to take the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Ethereal Light and sweep that all over my face. We're aware of my addiction to this product. I love it, but it just adds such a nice healthy glow to my skin. Finally, I'm using my Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray just to set everything in place and also to remove any kind of powderiness that could have been left. Love this product, use it practically every day. And we're all done. So that is what I would consider a natural bridal look. What do you think? So that was it. As I mentioned at the start, if you have any questions, please let me know down below, as always. And if you have good suggestions for foundations, etc. for other people, feel free to leave that down below for them. Or if you have any recommendations on anything that would be related to this look, always leave it down below. Or if you know of something that works better. I'm still testing out a few different concealers, as you would have seen going through, and primers and stuff. So I did use some newer products that I'm testing out. I may not have necessarily reached for, but it gave you a good idea of how things were done anyway. So thank you very, very much for watching. Please like if you liked, please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!